Namaste friends, I am Jayalakshmi Ravichandran signing in on behalf of Magic Needles. This day I am here with pattern 13 which is worked with Hobby Store Special DK yarn, Parchment color code is 1218. Yeah, this is how the pattern looks when it is worked. This is worked in multiples of 2 plus 1 stitches, or when you work it as an individual unit, you take up multiples of 2 stitches or even number of stitches. If you take, you will be able to work this pattern beautifully well. In our blanket, we have 302 multiples of even numbers, but still we require only multiples of 2 plus 1, so we need 301 stitches. That last stitch we are going to adjust when we work and complete the odd number of rows, that is 1, 3, 5 and so on. That way we will have one extra DC or whichever stitch we have in the end of the odd row. I am ready with my sample stitches, for the sample pattern for working out. I am ready with 34 stitches as I always do. In the blanket you have 302, both are even numbers. So we will have one extra stitch which we are going to work at the end. So to begin with, the first row, make your standing double crochet, standing twisted double crochet. Then I am using a thicker yarn and a thicker hook just to make the video clearer. So twist, insert your hook, pull up the loop. So you'll have a loop, a twisted loop and a loop that you pulled, yarn over, pull through the loop and behind the twisted loop. So it will form similar to half closed DC. Now you'll have 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through. Your first DC done. Then chain 1, skip 1, place a DC in the next stitch. Again chain 1, skip 1, one double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip 1 double crochet. This is how the pattern repeats. So chain 1, skip 1 double crochet, continue that till the end. I shall meet you at the end over here. I've come to the end of the first row. Here the first row pattern ends and I am left with 1 stitch. Likewise you will be left with 1 stitch at the end of your 302 stitches. So I am just making 1 double crochet here. So this double crochet does not count in your pattern at all. Whenever you work odd rows and come to the end, you will be placing 1 double crochet here on the stitch. So again, when you begin also you need to place 1 double crochet here because that stitch does not count. And to go with the pattern and to have the height, we need to place a stitch here. This end double crochet at the end of odd rows and the beginning of even rows does not count at all. Now the pattern begins. Place 1 double crochet here in the very first stitch here. Then you place half closed double crochet in the same stitch where you place your double crochet, half closed. Excuse me. Then make the second half closed double crochet on the DC next. Do not make anything in this chain space. And complete the 2 DC cluster. Again now chain 1. Begin your next half closed double crochet in the same stitch where you completed your DC cluster. So here yarn over, insert in the same stitch, half closed double crochet and then yarn over, make another half closed double crochet on the DC next, complete the 2 DC cluster. I'll make one more time and show you. Yarn over, chain 1, yarn over, begin your half close double crochet in the same stitch where you completed your DC cluster. This is half close double crochet done. Now yarn over and you work another half close double crochet in the next DC. You're not working anything in this chain space. 2 half close double crochets. Now complete the DC cluster. Yarn over, pull through 3. Yarn, chain 1, yarn over, half close double crochet in the same stitch where we completed. Yarn over, skip the chain 1 space, insert your hook into the next DC, pull up a loop, half close double crochet down. Now yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So this is how the second row looks. I'll complete till the end and come and show you how to work the last stitch here. Now we have come to the end of the row here. Now yarn over, chain 1, yarn over, place a half close double crochet in the stitch where we completed our previous stitch and yarn over, make a half close double crochet in the last DC here at the end of row 2. End of row 2, that is end of even rows and beginning of odd rows are worked normally. We begin the stitch there. Having placed this, yarn over, place a double crochet in the same stitch here. This is how we end this pattern for row 2. For row 3, turn your work. Place your first DC here. Chain 1. DC in chain space. Chain 1. DC, chain 1 in chain 1 space. So place my DC, chain 1. Again in chain space, DC, chain 1. DC, chain 1. In every chain 1 space of the previous row, you need to place one DC and chain 1. Continue till the end. I shall meet you at the end over here. I have placed my last DC and chain 1 in this chain 1 space of the previous row. Now we'll be left with 2 DCs to be done. So this is the odd row that we have done. So we end with one extra DC at this point. Now we are ending with these 3 rows for the blanket. The next row we are going to place one DC row. If you want, you can continue with the pattern and do row number 2 once and then complete the pattern for the blanket. It's up to you. As per your wish, you can do it, but I am ending with this row, so I will turn my work, place a standing twisted DC in the very first stitch. This is an even row. This stitch does not count. It's an extra stitch we need to do to keep the count. And here we begin the pattern DC on DC and one DC in chain 1 space. Then DC on DC. DC on chain 1 space. DC on DC. DC in chain 1 space. Continue till the end. I shall meet you at the end here. I have come to the end of the row and my count here is 33. I have 34 stitches to be done. I have 1 stitch left. So I make my last DC in the last stitch here or last DC here. And in the blanket too, you will be having 302 DCs done. For the next pattern, it's up to you to either begin with the DC row with that color or you can continue the pattern from here itself. That new pattern you can start right from here itself. That doesn't matter. So it's up to you to do either DC rows on both ends or at one end. But at one end it is mandatory. At least at the end of the row you need to have a DC row, or at the beginning of the next color pattern you need to have a DC row. You don't avoid the DC rows between 2 stitches. You should have one DC row between 2 stitches. So only then the patterns will be visible properly. The patterns will be demarcated by the DC rows. Thank you friends for watching. Have a nice day. Do subscribe to our Magic Needles channel. Do not forget to hit on the bell icon so that you will be notified as and when we upload new videos. Thank you friends. Have a great day. Bye.